Welcome back to ANI, everyone. Today we're diving deep into a question that's got Liverpool fans all over the world biting their nails. Should the club offer Mo Salah a new contract? It's a hot topic, to say the least, and we've got some really interesting sources to unpack here, including, get this, a video clip of Salah himself talking about the whole situation. Let's jump right in and hear what he has to say.
There's a lot of talk about your future. What's the latest you can tell us on that?
Well, we almost in December. I haven't received any offer to stay yet in the club, so probably I'm more out than in. So,
would you like to stay though?
well, I've been in the club for many years. No club like this, but in the end, it's not in my hands. So, as I said before, it's December, so I haven't received anything yet about my future. So
it feels like the fans would love you to stay though, given the reaction today.
I love the fans. The fans love me, but in the end, it's not in my hand; it's the fans' hand. So, yeah, let's wait and see.
How do you feel about the fact there hasn't been an offer? Then does that disappoint you?
Of course, yeah.
And so what? Have you spoken to the club about why there hasn't been an offer?
Well, I'm not gonna go and say I'm not gonna retire soon. So I'm just playing I'm focused in the season, and I'm trying to win the Premier League or hopefully the Champions League as well. But yeah, it's a disappointing.
Wow, I don't know about you, but I could definitely sense some frustration there, almost a hint of disappointment. More out than in. Those are pretty strong words, especially coming from a player who's given so much to Liverpool. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you can definitely feel the tension in that clip. And to really grasp the gravity of this situation, you have to understand what Salah means to Liverpool. This isn't just any player we're talking about. This is a guy who, in just 7 years since joining from Roma, has helped propel the club to both Premier League and Champions League glory.
Exactly. He's been absolutely instrumental to their success. And it's not like he's slowing down. Look at his performance this season. 10 goals and 6 assists in just 12 Premier League games. The man is a goal-scoring machine.
Absolutely. And those are just the highlights. I mean, just look at his overall stats. 223 goals and 99 assists in 367 appearances for Liverpool. That kind of consistency and impact is practically unheard of in modern football. It's legendary stuff.
So you're telling me this is a guy you want to keep around?
Without a doubt. Losing Salah would be a massive blow to Liverpool, both on and off the pitch. He's not just a prolific goal scorer, he's a global icon, a role model, and a symbol of the club's recent successes. Letting him walk away would send a terrible message, not just to the fans, but to potential signings as well.
Okay, so if he's so valuable, why haven't Liverpool offered him a new contract yet? His current one expires at the end of the season, right? What's the holdup?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one that's got everyone speculating. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of rumors flying around. But if you really dig into the facts, it seems like there are a few key factors at play here.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
Well, first off, you have to remember that Liverpool rejected a massive 150 million OC bid for Salah from Al Ittihad back in 2023. And even before that, in 2021, there was serious interest from some of the biggest clubs in the world. Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, all vying for his signature.
So he's clearly a wanted man. But he chose to stay with Liverpool, signing a new contract despite those tempting offers. That says something about his loyalty, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It shows he's committed to the club, to the fans, to the city. He's bought into the Liverpool way.
But now, just a couple of years later, the contract situation is up in the air again. That's got to be frustrating for him, especially after he turned down those other offers.
You can bet it is. And that more out than in comment, that's him sending a message. He's not happy with the way things are going, and he's not afraid to let the world know it.
So is this a power play? Is he trying to force Liverpool's hand?
It's hard to say for sure, but you can't rule it out. He knows his worth, and he's not afraid to use his leverage. But on the other hand, you have to consider Liverpool's perspective as well.
Right, they're not just going to hand over a blank check.
Exactly. They have to be smart about this. They have a wage structure to maintain, a squad to balance, and a long-term vision to consider. A massive contract for Salah, while arguably deserved, could have ripple effects throughout the club.
So it's a bit of a standoff then.
You could say that, but what's interesting is that despite all this contract drama, Salah keeps performing at the highest level. He's not letting it distract him. In fact, you could argue that it's fueling his fire even more.
That's the mark of a true professional, isn't it? But let's be honest, even the most dedicated players can be affected by this kind of uncertainty. It's got to be weighing on him, even if he's not showing it.
It's only human, right? This isn't just a job for him. It's his passion, his legacy. He wants to know where he stands, what the future holds. And right now it seems like he's getting mixed signals.
Mixed signals, what do you mean?
Well, on the one hand, you have Salah himself saying he's more out than in, but then you have Liverpool's manager, Arne Slot, saying that Salah is absolutely not distracted by the contract talks, and that his starting lineup decisions prove that Moles is more in than out. It's a bit of a contradiction, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely a bit of a head-scratcher. So we've got Salah seemingly pushing for a new contract, Liverpool playing it close to the chest, and the manager trying to downplay the whole situation. It's a complicated picture, to say the least, but where do the fans fit into all of this?
The fans. They're the heart and soul of any football club. And in this case, their voices are adding a whole new dimension to the drama. We've got some tweets here that really capture the range of emotions and opinions swirling around this contract saga.
Oh, this is where it gets interesting. Twitter is always a hotbed of opinions, especially when it comes to football. Let's see what the fans are saying.
All right, let's dive in. Hold on. This one is... well, it's pretty strongly worded. It seems like some fans are feeling quite protective of Salah, maybe even a little resentful towards anyone who criticizes him.
It's understandable, right? He's a hero to them, a symbol of everything that's good about Liverpool.
Absolutely. And you know what? This next tweet actually makes a really interesting point. It seems like some fans feel that the focus on Salah's contract situation is actually overshadowing other important issues that the club is facing.
Yeah, I get that. When a player of Salah's stature is in limbo, it's bound to dominate the headlines.
Right. But these tweets are a good reminder that there's always more to the story than what's on the surface. There are these underlying currents of fan sentiment, media narratives, and even internal club dynamics that are all influencing how this situation is playing out.
It's like a multi-dimensional chess game. You've got to consider all the angles. So let's talk about Jamie Carragher for a second. He's been pretty vocal about his criticism of Salah, hasn't he?
Yeah, Carragher's definitely not holding back. He's essentially accusing Salah of being selfish for focusing on contract talks during such a crucial part of the season. He believes Salah should prioritize the team's success over his own personal interests.
Ouch. That's a pretty harsh assessment. So look at this tweet.
Okay.
This Man U fan's like, yeah, Carragher's right.
Uh-huh.
And then all the replies are just Liverpool fans like going crazy.
Oh, yeah. That's classic tribalism right there.
Totally.
It's like it doesn't even matter if you actually agree with Carragher or not. If it seems like he's attacking your player, you got to defend him.
It's like us versus them.
Totally.
Yeah. And some of the stuff people are saying,
I know, right?
it's pretty intense.
Intense.
Like rent-free in Carragher's head.
Oh, yeah.
Sell out. Like, whoa.
It's more than just disagreeing at that point.
Really more.
It's like,
yeah.
you know, fans, they're so invested in their clubs.
Right.
And their player. It's like
Yeah.
loyalty identity.
Like,
Like they feel protective
yeah.
of these guys who represent their team.
Yeah.
So when someone, even a former player like Carragher comes in
Right.
and criticizes them,
Yeah.
it feels like a personal attack.
Yeah.
It's like their pride is on the line.
You know, it makes you think.
What's that?
Like, could some of this backlash be because of Carragher's history as a player?
Oh, interesting.
Like, this tweet here,
Yeah.
it's saying maybe he's a little jealous of Salah's success. What do you think? Is there something to that?
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't really know what's going on in Carragher's head. But
Sure.
it does raise a good point. Like, how much does personal history affect commentary?
Right.
Like, even if a pundit tries to be objective,
Yeah.
they still have their own baggage.
And own experiences.
It's shaping their views.
And sometimes, even if the point is valid,
Right.
it's the way it's said.
Oh, absolutely.
That can totally backfire.
It's like this tweet here
Yeah.
saying Carragher's point about Salah's demands.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fair,
Maybe.
but the way he said it,
Yeah.
it just comes across as harsh.
Too harsh.
Yeah. And that's the thing about communication,
It's tricky.
especially online.
Oh, totally.
It's not just what you say.
Right.
It's how you say it.
Yeah.
Carragher can be pretty blunt.
He can.
Some people like that.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Right. But others find it,
Abrasive.
yeah, abrasive, even disrespectful.
And then the message gets lost
Completely lost.
because everyone's focused on the delivery. Exactly.
And then there are people who go even further.
Oh, yeah.
Like this tweet saying that Carragher is excessively negative and prejudiced against Salah.
Wow.
That's a big accusation,
It is.
especially considering how much influence Carragher has.
Yeah, he's a big name in football.
Right. And, you know, fans aren't always wrong to be skeptical.
No, they're not.
Like media, even sports commentary,
Yeah,
it's never totally neutral.
never.
Pundits have their favorites, their pet peeves.
Mhm.
And yeah, maybe even biases they don't realize.
Where do Salah's teammates stand in all of this? Are they siding with Carragher or offering their support to their star player?
That's a good question. And it seems like they're taking a more diplomatic approach, focusing on the team's unity and downplaying any potential rifts. In fact, Andy Robertson, Salah's teammate, actually described him as the ultimate professional. He emphasized that even with all this contract stuff going on, Salah, along with Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk, who are also in contract negotiations, are still laser-focused on their training and leadership roles within the team.
So it sounds like they're trying to maintain a sense of normalcy amidst all the chaos.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're saying, hey, look, we're professionals. We can handle this. Let's just focus on playing good football.
Which makes sense. They're all in the same boat, in a way. They're all trying to secure their futures while also performing at the highest level. It's a balancing act.
For sure. And it's probably easier to maintain that focus when you have the support of your teammates. They're going through the same thing, feeling the same pressures. They're in it together.
Speaking of pressure, let's circle back to the main point here. Should Liverpool offer Salah a new contract? I know we've touched on some of the pros and cons, but I want to hear your take. If you were calling the shots, what would you do?
You know, it's a tough one. There are so many factors to weigh. On the one hand, letting Salah walk away would be a huge loss, both in terms of goals and in terms of what he represents to the club and the fans. He's a genuine legend.
Right, and replacing a player of his caliber is no easy feat, especially in today's market.
Exactly. But on the other hand, there are the financial implications to consider. Offering him a massive contract could create a precedent, potentially disrupting their wage structure and limiting their flexibility in the transfer market down the line.
It's a classic dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah.
Balancing the short-term benefits with the long-term risks. But if you had to lean one way or the other, what would your gut tell you?
Honestly, my gut says Liverpool would be making a big mistake if they let Salah go.
Wow, you're going all in on that one. Care to elaborate?
Sure. You know, it goes beyond just the goals, though obviously those are crucial. It's about what he symbolizes, what he brings to the team. His work ethic is unparalleled, his dedication is unquestionable, and the way he elevates those around him, that's priceless. He makes his teammates better, plain and simple.
I see your point. It's that intangible quality, that leadership presence that makes him so valuable.
Exactly. You can't put a price tag on that. And you can't easily replace it either. Players like Salah, they don't come around very often.
Okay, so you're firmly in the offer him a new contract camp. But what about the financial implications? How do you reconcile that with the need to be fiscally responsible?
That's the tricky part, right? But I think there's a way to make it work. Maybe it means getting a little creative with the structure of the deal. Maybe it involves some tough decisions about other players. But in the grand scheme of things, I truly believe that keeping Salah is worth the investment.
So you're saying that even if it means stretching the budget a bit, even if it means making some sacrifices elsewhere, Liverpool should do whatever it takes to keep their star player.
I think they should. It's not just about winning trophies, it's about sending a message to the fans, to the players, to the world, that Liverpool values loyalty, that they reward excellence, and that they're not afraid to invest in the future, even if it means taking a calculated risk.
That's a powerful statement. You're basically saying that keeping Salah is about more than just football. It's about the club's identity, its values, its place in the world.
In a way, yes. It's about showing the world that Liverpool is a club that stands by its legends, a club that fights for what it believes in.
It makes you wonder what Salah himself is thinking, feeling, hoping for as this whole saga unfolds. I mean, we've heard his more out than in comment, but is there more to the story? What's his perspective on all of this?
Well, that's the question we're all trying to answer, isn't it? And it's a question that leads us into some really intriguing psychological territory.
It's like we're trying to read between the lines, decode his every word, every gesture, to figure out what he's really thinking.
Right. We're analyzing his on-field performances, scrutinizing his social media posts, dissecting his interviews, all in an attempt to understand the man behind the myth. It's almost like an archaeological dig, carefully brushing away layers of speculation and media hype to uncover the truth about Mo Salah.
And what do you think we'd find if we dug deep enough? What's at the heart of this whole contract saga?
Well, I think it boils down to a few key things. First, there's the sense of legacy, the desire to cement his place as a Liverpool icon. He wants to be remembered as one of the greats. And a new contract, a show of commitment from the club, would certainly solidify that status.
Makes sense. He's already achieved so much at Liverpool, but she can tell he's hungry for more. He wants to keep pushing, keep winning, keep writing his name into the club's history books.
Exactly. And then there's the financial aspect, of course. He knows his worth, and he wants to be compensated accordingly. It's not just about the money itself. It's about what it represents. Respect, recognition, validation.
It's a statement, right? Like, I'm one of the best in the world, and my contract should reflect that.
Precisely. But I think there's another element at play here, something that's often overlooked in these kinds of negotiations. Loyalty.
Loyalty. But hasn't he already demonstrated his loyalty by staying with Liverpool, even when other clubs were throwing money at him?
Yes, absolutely. But loyalty is a two-way street. And I think what we're seeing now is Salah wanting reassurance that that loyalty is reciprocated. He wants to know that the club believes in him, that they value his contributions, that they're willing to invest in his future just as he's invested in theirs.
So it's like he's saying, look, I've shown you my commitment, now it's your turn.
In a nutshell, yes. He wants to feel wanted, appreciated, valued. And a new contract, one that reflects his status and his contributions, would be the ultimate expression of that appreciation.
I see. So it's not just about the money. It's about the message. It's about the club saying, Mo, you're one of us, and we want you here for the long haul.
Exactly. And I think that's something that the fans understand. Even if they don't always agree on the specifics of the contract negotiations, they see what Salah brings to the team, they feel the passion he plays with, and they want him to stay.
That's evident in those tweets we looked at earlier. There's a real sense of protectiveness, almost a possessiveness when it comes to Salah.
It's like he's become a symbol of the club's identity, a representation of their hopes and dreams, and letting him go would feel like a betrayal, not just to him, but to everything he represents.
You've touched on the emotional side of things, the fan perspective. But what about the cold, hard reality of the business side? How does that factor into this whole equation?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Because on the surface, it seems like a pretty straightforward equation. A world-class player demanding a world-class contract. But if you look a little deeper, you start to see all these other factors at play. The club's financial limitations, their long-term transfer strategy, the potential impact on the wage structure, the need to balance short-term success with long-term sustainability.
It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle where every piece is interconnected. You can't just focus on one aspect without considering the impact it will have on everything else.
And that's what makes this situation so fascinating, so complex, so unpredictable. It's a real-life case study in the dynamics of modern football, where the personal, the financial, and the emotional are all intertwined in this intricate dance.
And as we've discussed, social media has become a major stage for this dance, amplifying every move, every rumor, every twist and turn.
Absolutely. It's like a constant commentary track running alongside the negotiations, shaping the narrative, fueling speculation, and adding a whole new layer of complexity to the whole situation.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Salah contract saga, I'm left with one overarching question. Is there a solution that satisfies everyone? Can Liverpool keep their star player happy, maintain their financial stability, and appease their passionate fan base all at the same time?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe that this situation highlights something crucial about modern football. It's not just about the game anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's about so much more than just goals and trophies. It's about the stories we tell ourselves, the narratives we create, the heroes we celebrate, and the dreams we dare to believe in.
And Mo Salah, with his electrifying talent, his unwavering determination, and his connection with the fans, has become a symbol of all of that.
Exactly. He embodies the spirit of Liverpool, the passion of the city, the aspirations of a global fan base. And that's something that transcends any contract negotiation, any financial consideration, any short-term uncertainty.
So as we wait to see how this saga unfolds, one thing is certain. Mo Salah's legacy at Liverpool is already secure. He's etched his name into the club's history, and his impact will be felt for years to come, regardless of what the future holds.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? The uncertainty, the drama, the human element. It's what keeps us coming back for more, keeps us engaged, keeps us debating, keeps us dreaming.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of AI and I. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of Mo Salah and the complexities of modern football.
It's been a pleasure. And as always, we encourage you to keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts on social media, engage with the different perspectives, and let us know what you think Liverpool should do.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay passionate about the beautiful game.